Springboks are the 2024 Rugby Championship Champs. 48-7 win over Argentina. Their first Rugby Championship title since 2019. A long time coming with a convincing win over Los Pumas in Nelspruit. I'd say not the most polished performance. Plenty of handling errors, plenty of opportunities left out on the field. But Springboks do what they do. And they win. In the end, they win well as well. 48-7. What a game. Welcome back, everybody, to Kick On Rugby Channel. I'm your host, Dane. Share it. Before we get into it, let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the game. Who was your man of the match? Who played well? Who didn't? Where do you think Argentina lost the game? And what did Springboks do well to put 48 points on a team they lost to last week? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe while you're there. Let's get into it. So Springboks, a very fast start, similar to last week. Very fast start, very high intensity. Love that from the Springboks. And what they did really well in this game, I thought, is that they kept that intensity throughout the game. Yes, there's a lot of changes made to the side from last week's game. And those, you can see why the guys that played this weekend in Nelspruit are your first picks, because, man, just that intensity was 2 or 3 levels up. I love the variation at lineout that they placed. It was the 2 pods going up, and they threw it right over the top, getting over that vantage line nicely there. And then that just allows the forwards to come around that corner to carry off 9, and you're just rolling on. So when you get first phase over that vantage line, those next 2 or 3 phases are just set up lovely for you, for your team to get into your attack shape. And they did that really well. I loved the intent early on. Kickable penalties, going for touch. This is always going to be a question mark. Who's going to kick? Is Manie Lebok going to kick? Or if it comes down to it, are we going to take penalties like the 3 points, or are we going to go to touch? And they did that. They went to touch. I think twice went to touch, didn't pay off. They were just kept getting penalties, kept going to touch. And then they opting for scrums. And the Springbok scrum, man, all game. I'm surprised there wasn't a penalty try, because O'Keefe put his hand out for advantage and we went over the line and the ball got lost. And then he just blew back for the advantage. Usually a ref is giving a penalty try there, and the scrums just dominated throughout the game. I'm surprised there wasn't any yellow cards up front for Argentina in that regard. But eventually the not going for posts, going for touch, or going for scrum did pay off, with Apelele Fassi scoring. So Damien Dallander always used to crash the ball, but what he does is his skill set is that ability to pass right at the line. So gets right up in their faces. 2 or 3 guys set on him because they know he takes a bit of stopping, and he throws the ball out the back. Manie Lebok held that ball up nicely for Fassi, and it was almost like a rerun of last week's try for Apelele Fassi as well. And he hits that line perfect, beautifully. How he injects himself into the back line there, really, really good. Like I said, the scrum demolishing Argentina early on. Ox and France. Oh man, my 2 form props for the competition, it'll probably be in my team of the competition, is Ox in chair and France Malherbe. The amount of pressure they apply at scrum time, it's just, man, you would hate to be the opposition. I feel like the intent for the Springboks was always going to be to go for tries, applying a ton of pressure through their scrums and lineouts, their set piece. They always pride themselves on a strong set piece, and then off the back of that being rewarded for tries. Kicking to goal, I don't think was going to be an issue in this game because of the team that was selected. The amount of experience and front foot ball this forward pack can get, that the Springboks selected, I don't think kicking to goal was going to be up there with a priority here. Jaden Hendrickson did take the kicking tee, and his first few kicks was lovely. That kick from the touchline, beautiful. And then he did end up missing 2 or 3 kicks. I think 2 kicks. Look, if it was a pressure game, you wouldn't want Jaden Hendrickson kicking to goal. Let's be honest. Yes, he kicked that one nice one from the touchline, but if the game's on the line, I don't think you want him kicking at goal. Touching on Marnie Lebok, look, I'm happy to have Lebok in the side. Take that responsibility of kicking to goal away from him. Let him cook with everything else that he's good at. I get that. He's good at attacking the ball, attacking the line, ball in 2 hands, his option taking, his skill set around that, his ability to kick out of hand off both feet. He showed a couple of times these up and unders were perfectly weighted, and that's left and right foot. He's holding up of the ball and putting players in space, really good as well. I think he had one forward pass, which was very flat to Cheslin Kolbe. It was a beautiful pass, running at pace, throwing that ball. I love that. Seeing what that does to him, freeing up his game. He's taking that responsibility of kicking to goal out of his game on game day and just let him do what he does good. In that sense, I don't think Hendrickson is the answer in that regard. Because if this game was any tighter, they would have brought Pollard on like a lot earlier, I feel like. But because we had the momentum, the ascendancy, the guys who are going forward, they're scoring tries at will. I mean, 48 points. Kicking a goal wasn't going to be a big issue in this game. So Marnie Lebok probably gets a pass then for what he did during the game because the kicking at goal was taken out. He was good. He had a few try assists, a few line break assists as well. And his option take, he executed what was needed of him in this game really, really well. So it's a tick there from me. I love the wider option off 9. I thought Jaden Hendrickson was fantastic, man. His wider option, so off the deck, but not playing. If there's a pod of 3, not playing that guy, he's hitting the wider guy, and it takes out 3 or 4 defenders. And that's really good to see because you're over that advantage line straight away. You're getting a weaker shoulder in the tackle, and you're just straight into the second, third phase. Apolele Fasi's second try, just continued pressure from the Springboks and having options. So whenever the ball player has the ball in hand, he's got options inside him, outside him, behind that player as well. And it's really, really good to see. I thought Damien Dalliner did really well to break the tackle there, down the touchline, little shimmy, breaks the tackle. It'd be so hard to tackle him. Lanky, very strong as well. Ball in 2 hands. Got the ball out. Colby did well to wait for support players to come. He's right, hugging the touchline. Held his position a bit, took the contact and ball inside, and Fasi scored. Forwards really, really dominant for me. Spreading the ball, so going side to side, but the boys going forward as well. At some points, yes, a couple of handling errors, a couple of wayward passes, but the guys were always getting over the advantage line, but always having a support player as well. Hendrickson would pick the ball up, or Reinach pick the ball up, and he's got 3, 4, 5 options. He can go himself as well, and that was really, really good. For Colby's try, beautifully weighted pass from Lebok. I'll give him that. He got the ball, looked up, threw a couple of dummies, had the rush defense come past, and he threw behind their back. Fasi then to Colby, and Colby with who can say when the wrong. I'll be playing that step now in slow-mo. When the day comes, hold me tight. Lovely. You're not touching him there. I did, like I said, a ton of handling errors both sides. Some wayward passes, but I think it was pressure from both sides. I think unforced errors from the Springboks, but for the Argentina's handling errors, it was Springbok pressure applied on them. Standouts for me, Siya Kolisi, really, really good. Proper captain's knock, strong over the ball, really strong defensively, and good around the park, man. Like I said, a real captain's knock. And then Peter Steph du Toit, I didn't hang around, watch after the game to see who got man of the match. I think he deserved man of the match. unreal. Every game he plays for the Springboks, I feel like he just gets better and better and better. I don't think he's ever had a bad game for the Springboks. And listen to these stats. 2 tries, 10 carries, 3 defenders beaten, 10 tackles, 2 turnovers. That was Peter Steph Toy. And then a special shout out to Apolele Fassi. He was fantastic again. 2 tries, 9 carries, 85 run meters, and 4 defenders beaten. Jumping over to Argentina quickly. Man, really struggled in that first 20 to keep up. The intensity was wild from the Springboks. I'll give them that. Last week, they kind of rode that intensity, Argentina did, but then came back and kind of gave their own intensity into the game and really did well in that regard. But this weekend was just one too much. For their try, they were creating space out wide and getting a lot of meters down the edges, then cutting back, and Albonos went through to score. Good support play, looking to keep the ball alive, but that was it. The amount of pressure applied by Springboks on Argentina, and this is where I think the cards came in. Yes, some of them were unforced, like Carreras taking Fassi out in the air, really unforced, but it was also Argentina not having much play in the game, and then individual plays trying to assert themselves into the game, and then coming up with errors like this. In the whole competition, Argentina had no cards, so their discipline really, really good. Come to the last game, the game where it counts, the title on the line, and they get 3 cards, 2 yellows and 1 red. So just speaks volumes of the amount of pressure that Springboks applied to Argentina. Just overpowered here. It was always going to be a tough one. The intensity, the physicality from the Springboks was just a different level. Man, but still shout out to Argentina. They're one of their most successful Rugby Championship campaigns. They beat each team once, at least, and that's done well. They finished second. I'm pretty sure they've done really well this year, and the growth I think that you'll see over the next few years under Contempomi will be fantastic. It looks like there's a real buy-in into how they want to play, and going forward, it's a good sign for Argentina. Springboks win the Rugby Championship for 2024. What do you guys think? What did you think of the game? What did you think of this year's competition? Let me know in the comments. Stay in touch. I'm going to be my video for the team of the competition will be out soon as well. Hit that subscribe so you don't miss any of that. Excuse the screaming kids in the background. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.